Hi everyone, welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a delicious vegetarian dish. It's a Cretan dish, which means it comes from Crete, the island that my family comes from in Greece. It's delicious, it's flavorful, and it's so simple with just a few ingredients. It's a zucchini stuffed with garlic that's roasted in the oven with a tomato sauce. So yummy, so delicious. Let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. So in this pan right here, I have a small onion that I've chopped up and that I cooked until it's really nice and golden with some olive oil. That's ready to go. I have some pureed crushed tomatoes. So these are canned tomatoes actually. They're San Marzano. That's what I found at the supermarket. I just pureed them and I'm just going to add them in here so that we can cook while we're talking. Let that sit in there and we'll add the rest of the ingredients later. I'm just afraid that the onions will burn. I have some feta cheese that's totally optional. I'm going to use this as a garnish. Crushed red pepper flakes, some dried oregano, fresh parsley, olive oil, salt, pepper, of course zucchini, and some garlic cloves. Now, I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and there are 2 steps for this recipe. Actually, there are 3, but let's start with the first one. I'm going to create a really long slit down the center of the zucchini, both of them. I'm only making 2 today, but you can do this for a crowd and make as many as you like in a large tray. My mom and many people, how they make this in Crete is they stuff the garlic, which I'm going to slice right now. They stuff the garlic in the zucchini and then they fry it. And that is so delicious. They fry it and then they cook it in the sauce. But it is really messy, and you know that I don't like to fry things unless I really have to. Like unless they're lucumades or donuts or something like that, then of course I'm going to fry them, you know it. But wherever a recipe can be made a little bit easier and healthier, I'm going to try and do it that way without sacrificing any flavor. This does not sacrifice any flavor. It's still really delicious, as you will see when you make it at home. But we're going to slice each garlic clove into thin slices of garlic, and then we're just going to stuff them in here in the slit. Now, if you need to make the slit a little bit wider, you can go ahead and do that with your knife. Just be careful not to cut all the way through down to the bottom. So just push them in there. I already did one. You want to really fill in this slit with as much garlic as possible. I usually put 3 cloves of garlic per zucchini. These are also really small zucchinis, but use whatever you can find, whatever you have. That looks good. I'm going to save these for another dish. Now I'm going to put these in my little baking pan, just like so. And really simply, I'm going to drizzle them with olive oil and season with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Just like that. And I'm going to pop these in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. So we've added our pureed tomatoes to the onions. I'm going to season it with a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes for heat. If you don't like it, again, please leave it out. And then we're going to put a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and a little bit of dried oregano. We're going to let this cook on medium-high heat for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it reduces and thickens a bit. In that time, the zucchinis will have finished roasting for 30 minutes. Then we're going to put it all together and pop it right back in the oven. And I'll show you what the sauce is going to look like when it's ready. The sauce took 15 minutes to thicken up beautifully just like this. I went ahead and I tasted it and I made sure that the salt and the spices were right. If you feel like it needs some more, just go ahead and add it. And our zucchini in the meantime was done with the first part of roasting. I do this, here they are, by the way. I do this in the oven just to kind of get them a really nice roasted flavor and get them a little bit firm. It kind of mimics the frying or substitutes the frying technique. So on top of them, I'm just going to pour this beautiful, rich tomato sauce. And then they're going to go back in the oven. I'm going to cover them with aluminum foil. Let me get the foil right now. And these extra slices of garlic that were left over, I'm just going to pop these in the sauce. I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees for an hour and 15 minutes. And then I'm going to uncover it and let it bake for another 15 or 20 minutes until the zucchini is really nice and soft. And I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. So the zucchini is out of the oven, and just look at how beautiful and rich and caramelized it has become. The sauce has thickened, and usually when I make tomato sauces, I like to add a little bit of sugar or honey in the sauce just to kind of counteract the acidity. But because this has the onion in it and the tomatoes also roasted in the oven for so long, about an hour and a half, it has sweetened up and it's become really rich and deep in flavor, so you don't need to add any sugar to it at all. So once it comes out of the oven, let it cool just for a few seconds, and then we're just going to get ready. We're going to chop up the parsley. And again, this is totally optional, but I always like to add a little bit of freshness to a dish that has roasted for a long time, or really any savory dish. It just tastes really nice. You can substitute basil for this. If you have some fresh basil, just go ahead and use that. But I'm going to do parsley today. Here we are. And then I have, of course, some really nice zucchinis feta cheese. It's a sheep's milk feta that's really nice and creamy. If you can find it, use it. If not, just get the best quality whole milk feta that you can find. And again, this is totally optional. I'm crumbling some on top just so I could add some nice creaminess to it. I'm gonna sprinkle the parsley on top of that. And just like that, you can eat this as a meal. It's really filling and really satisfying. Or you can serve it as a side to any meat that you've cooked for the evening or for lunch. It tastes really delicious the next day. Let me wash my hands and then I'll show you what it looks like on the inside as well. So I'm gonna take one of these out and put them in my plate. It's so nice and soft, which is the way it should be. Now, if you're using bigger zucchini, they might take a little bit longer. You'll know when they're ready. If after an hour and 15 minutes, you go in to uncover the foil, just put a fork in, and they should be really nice and tender and soft, and the fork should go in very easily. And if you were to slice them, they should slice very, very easily, just like that, because that gives the garlic a really nice long time to cook, so it can be really beautiful and soft. As you can see, this is all really nice and soft. The sauce is super duper thick. Let me get a little bit of everything. This is the best. This takes me back to my childhood. And any dish that takes me back to my childhood just makes me really happy. The recipe for this will be on the website, www.dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to learn next. I have another recipe using zucchini that's stuffed with a rice and ground meat filling that's cooked in like a lemony sauce. If you wanted to know how to learn that, post in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.